Welcome to the Dresden Nexus podcast, recorded live from the 2025 Dresden Nexus Conference. I'm your host, Atiqah Fairuz Salleh, and today we're joined by Her Excellency Yadir Salasa Mejia, Ambassador of Colombia to Germany. This year marks a special occasion as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the United Nations University. Throughout this series, we'll explore the future of resources and how navigating the interconnected challenges of water, energy, food, land, and other resources, the resource nexus, will shape our path toward a sustainable world. In this episode, we'll hear from Her Excellency Salasa Mejia, who will share her invaluable insights. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for the invitation and congratulations.
And let's dive into the conversation.
Thanks.
As a country rich in biodiversity and natural resources, how is Colombia addressing the interconnected challenges of water, energy, food, and other resources? What role does the resource nexus play in Colombia's sustainable development strategy?
Thank you so much for that question. We are addressing those challenges with a community-based approach. As you said, Colombia is a country very rich in biodiversity, the richest in the world on biodiversity per square kilometer, and the number 6 in water resources, freshwater resources in the world, together with Russia, China, Brazil, the US, and Canada. And although we are so rich in those natural resources, we see that there are regions in our country where the communities, among them the indigenous communities, do not have access to water. So your question is very interesting because we are, first of all, recognizing the importance of doing public policies in our national development plan around water. And this is not about only policies, but the assignment of resources that need to be implemented by, of course, the entities, the ministries, etc., but taking into account the local needs, the community needs, and a community-based approach where we hear from them which are the needs and we construct with them in a participatory manner the solutions.
Thank you for that insight into the Colombian experience. And in many parts of the Global South, resource management is crucial for economic development and resilience. What are some of the key lessons Colombia has learned in balancing development with sustainable resource use, particularly in the face of climate change?
That's a very difficult question, but the resource nexus for us is not only connecting water, soil, food, atmosphere. It's connecting all this with peace. And peace is necessary, and the resource nexus is necessary to mitigate challenges. And there's no way you can do anything in life without peace. So for economic development and resilience, you need to look into the resource management, thinking of having it in peaceful atmosphere and a peaceful context to generate peace, because the resources can generate conflicts as well. And that's why Colombia is expanding access to rights and participation for marginalized groups and strengthening the state and the community-based protection efforts in biodiversity for peace building and consolidation. That's the way we see that we can balance development with sustainable use of the resources with the communities to prevent conflicts and to continue building peace. And this should apply not only for Colombia, but this should be a vision worldwide. The nexus between climate, biodiversity, and the people, and peace. And we are proposing that in this conference.
That's very, very important. And looking ahead, what is your vision for Colombia's role in shaping global sustainability efforts? How can the international community better support the Global South in achieving a sustainable and resilient future?
It's two questions or many questions in one. Colombia has proposed already in the COP16 in Cali, Colombia last year, something that is called Peace with Nature. And that is the way we think we should shape global sustainability. It's a reconciliation between human beings and nature through the creation of like a kind of a coalition or alliance for peace with nature, because there's no way that we can reverse the loss of biodiversity, adapt to all these impacts of climate change if we don't change our relationship as human beings with nature. We are in the center of the problem, but we are in the center of the solution. And that's why Colombia has proposed to the world that we create concrete mechanisms to engage with nature, to engage with raw materials, to do the traceability as well of all this richness that is to most extent located in the global south, all these raw materials, all this biodiversity, and that we can, from the global south, connect with the science, with the technology, and with the knowledge of both sides, global north and global south, with our indigenous communities, our ancestral knowledge, that we combine all this for a world in peace and for sustainability.
Beautiful. Now, if you have to, in one word, what do we need most to secure a bright resource future?
If it's one word, I am going to speak it very fast. It's two: peace with nature, or three. Peace with nature, transparency, and peace with nature.
I will let you off on this one. Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Excellency Salah Mejia, for sharing your expertise and vision on such a critical topic. It's conversations like these that help us also to reimagine the future of resources and sustainability. We hope you enjoyed this episode and that has sparked new ideas on how we can all contribute to a more sustainable and equitable future as well. Stay tuned for more episodes of the Dresden Nexus podcast, where thought leaders from around the world come together to explore solutions to the world's problems. Until next time, I'm Atiqah Fairuz Salleh, and thank you for listening.